There's a huge balance patch coming to Dragon Ball FighterZ. They're gonna make changes to some characters as well as making changes to a few systems. And when we talk about systems, I mean this is a really big deal because no matter the character you play, this is gonna affect you. When we talk about systems, we could be saying stuff like the Super Dash or the Dragon Rush or the Sparking Blast. Really, things that affect every single character in the entire game. But that's not what we're talking about today. Despite that being the bigger deal, we don't know exactly what they're changing, so it's not worth talking about. Just, hey, letting you know that big changes are coming. No, today we're gonna talk about the character balances, and we're gonna be doing an alternate version of Smash or Pass. We're doing buff or nerf for every single character that is gonna be changed in the upcoming patch. They did say they were changing the characters. They didn't say whether they were making them better or worse, so let's get down to it. Our list starts with a very easy character, VEGETA. VEGETA is number 1 with a bullet on the nerf list. No question. I think he's really strong as an active character, but the number one thing people complain about is his assist attack. And I agree, his assist is the best in the entire game, by far. You can just lock down an opponent for a combo extension, or lock them down on block from all the way across the screen and give you a free approach. And it lasts for way too long. I believe we'll see changes done to his assist, and I don't know if they'll change more than that out of fear of nerfing him too hard. So change his assist, and then we'll see what happens. Frieza, you know, a couple of months ago, I probably wouldn't have said this, but I think he's getting a buff. Frieza is getting buffed. You don't see that many Friezas in tournaments. His zoning is easily countered by many different characters. And as Golden Frieza, he is really strong, like he deals really good damage, he's fast, but that's super expensive and it's only a temporary state. His assist is also incredibly situational as well. I think he's gonna receive some changes that make him a lot more viable. Krillin. Buff. Krillin is strong, and I really believe that, even though we don't see him in a lot of tournaments. And that's one of the main reasons why I think he's getting buffed. In high-level plays, not really used too much. But also because Krillin players, you guys know what you do with Krillin. You use the after image strike for combos or for mix-up or for pressure. You use the rocks for setups. You also use the Senzu Bean for healing, of course. The Kamehameha is an amazing zoning tool. And what else does he have? Oh right, the solar flare. I think the speed and effect of the solar flare are really good, but the range is so short, and that's why I think no one uses the solar flare. The solar flare is such a rare sight. Maybe because it blinds you. I'm not a Krillin player, but I do believe he'll get a slight buff. Nothing major, I think he's really good as he is right now. Piccolo. Oh, hard nerf. The character in general is fine, but that Hell Zone grenade setup, that is too much. Piccolo has way too much time to mix up an opponent that's caught up in the Hell Zone. Maybe if you add a bit of recovery time to Piccolo after he does the super, like, check this out. Piccolo does the super, right? Huh? And then he can just move on and start pressuring the opponent. In the patch, he like does the move and then has like this, and then has to wait a little bit before he can move. Like that's... With that visual representation, I think you know what I mean. This gives Piccolo less time to mix up an opponent, which I think makes it more fair. Fairer. The fuck's the word? Because having all that time to just mix up an opponent without using any assists is a little bit broken. They've made changes to the Hell Zone grenade recently. They made it more visible, easier to see, but it's still way too hard to see behind all that explosion stuff. Android 16. You're gonna call me crazy, but I don't think he needs a nerf. But that's exactly what he's getting. He's getting a nerf. Let's be real. Android 16 is one of the few characters, I think, that can just put down the opponent into a hard knockdown situation, no matter where they are. And that's because of his command grab, and that gives him some amazing setup potential. And yeah, this is a bit broken, but I also think it's easy to read or react to what he's gonna do next. In most situations, I am able to protect myself against the 16. I don't find him as scary as most people do, but yeah, he's definitely getting nerfed. Android 18. She's also getting nerfed. This is another character that I'm not too sure if she needs a nerf, but she does have some awesome mix-up and setup potential when she calls for 17. It does take a while for her to call for 17, she's vulnerable while she does it, and maybe that's why I don't think she really needs that nerf, but maybe that's where they're hitting her. Well, that pressure is really good if she gets 17 off. If she calls 17 for that Ki Blast assist, she can just close the distance and start mixing up from close range. She can use assists to cover for her calling of 17. And yeah, there's pretty much no cooldown on calling 17, so yeah, nerf. Vegeta Blue, I'm gonna say buff. And you don't need much. I think overall he's a pretty complete character. But one of the main reasons I dropped Vegeta Blue is that assist attack. It takes way too long for it to come off. You change that and he's good in my book. I think Vegeta Blue is gonna get buffed. Nappa, oh, hard buff. No one plays Nappa. I think I saw Nappa at a tournament once and that was a long time ago. He's just gone nowadays and I'm actually starting to worry about him. Might have turned into a ghost. His Cyberman gimmick was great. I mean, you knock down an opponent, you plant a Cyberman, the next pressure situation is all yours. You got a buddy for pressure, that's awesome. But now everyone knows what the Cyberman does and it's not that hard to block them at all. So as long as you stay calm and just, you know, wait it out. So yeah, Nappa's getting buffed. Ginyu, another hard buff. I think I've seen one tournament player use Ginyu ever. And it wasn't anything out of this world even. There are some very cool combos using the entirety of the Ginyu force, but they're super flashy, but they're not super useful and not very practical either. You need to be in the right spot in the rotation to pull that stuff off. And his body change super, it just doesn't happen at high level. And maybe it should. This is a 3-on-3 game. If you lose one character, or I mean, if one of your characters becomes Ginyu, that's... as a spectator, that is awesome. It's not too bad having to play as Ginyu. Sure, you lose the Ginyu force, but Ginyu himself isn't completely useless. Plus, whoever does the body change needs to know how to play the opponent's character. And you can't really be picky if you're going for a body change. That means you're low on health and this is kind of a desperation move. Which means you pretty much gotta know how to play every single character in Dragon Ball FighterZ. And if you've put that much time and dedication into learning the game, maybe you deserve to land that body change. The one thing they might nerf is Rakum's Eraser Gun, which causes an infinite combo, but I see that more as a bug and less of a nerf. Adult Gohan, nerf. Big time nerf. That block shrink from Adult Gohan, that shit can be safe for so goddamn long. You can just put any opponent into a corner with a block string. That is completely safe. And then once in the corner, you can continue the block string. And that's broken. That's just completely broken. Plus, he's a character with a DP. And any character with a DP, and in this game that has so limited defensive options, any character with a DP just immediately raises in value. So you pair that up with a ridiculous moveset of Adult Gohan, he's so getting nerfed. Kid Buu! I just got into Kid Buu and I really like him, but I gotta say nerf. Kid Buu's greatest strength is, to me, his ability to start combos from halfway across the screen. But that's his thing, so I don't believe that's getting changed. What might be getting changed is his mix-up potential, even though if Kid Buu is on his own, his block strings, most of them aren't safe. There's a place where you can punish him very heavily, actually. Even though it looks like everything's very fast, there are openings in there. So what we might end up seeing is his reset potential somehow getting nerfed. When he ends a combo and immediately starts another one after the opponent techs, and it's a really hard time seeing where the next attack is coming from, that's where I think like Kid Buu might be a little bit too strong and they might be nerfing that. I don't know how, but that's the thing that I see them doing. Somehow. I'm not a wizard. They are. Beerus! I think Beerus is good, but you don't see him a lot at high level, so I'm gonna say buff. Beerus' gimmicks seem to be the floating orbs that he would summon to zone the opponent, but that stuff is really hard to pull off, because the orbs have such low priority, and if you hit Beerus, or even if you get him blocking, the orbs just disappear. So in the end, his gimmick ended up not really being his gimmick. I think he's getting buffed. Android 21. Nerf. She's got insane punish, she's got very good range, she's got insane mix-up. I mean, that command grab is so fast. And she's able to do infinite combos if she starts them with her special attack. Yeah, she's getting nerfed. The infinite combo thing, again, that's a bug, so maybe that doesn't really count as a nerf. But even outside of that, she's still a really good character, and she's definitely getting nerfed. Broly. Buff. I enjoyed my time with Broly. I really did. I think he's a solid character, even though I don't think I fully mastered him. I was able to do a lot of stuff in ranked matches. His armor is ridiculous and it allows you to bait the opponent into doing some very stupid things and then punishing them really hard. But you just don't see Broly anywhere, and I don't know if it's because his playstyle is very different from the other characters, from what players are used to, so players are afraid of picking him up, or if it's simply not powerful enough. What I'll say about Broly is is, the thing I don't like the most about this character is that you have to build a team around Broly. He really needs some specific assists, so it's hard to integrate Broly into some team that you've been practicing for months now. So yeah, Broly, probably getting a buff. You just don't see enough Broly. And it seems that's it. Wait, really? No Bardock? That guy needs a nerf ASAP. Also, no Cell? So those loops, they're intentional, huh? Okay. Well, maybe not. Not all hope is lost. It does say etc. at the bottom, so those might not be all the characters. Then again, the etc. might just be referring to those system changes that are coming that we talked about in the beginning of the video. So maybe Cell and Bardock are gonna stay the same. But let me know what you think about my choices for buff or nerf. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Would you buff or would you nerf the characters that are on this list? Let me know in the comments down below. Last time around on Dragon Ball FighterZ, we talked about the Sparking Blast. You'd be surprised at how much you can do once that thing is active. Check out that video right here. If you're in the mood for something else, there's also the video at the bottom. But as always, thank you very much for watching. My name is Globku, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.